and welcome to SEO Podcast, the unknown secrets of internet marketing. Boom!
And
Boom! Starting off the year right. 2001, we got the title to our podcast right on the first try.
That's what's up, man. Welcome back, everybody. Man, I hope everybody had a happy holiday in 2010. Happy New Year. Welcome back to another fun-filled year. Wow, podcast, what, like 100, 200? What?
We're at 91, podcast 91, starting off 11. My name is Chris Burris, owner of eWebStyle.
And this is Paul Hansen, sales manager of eWebStyle.com.
We are excited that you guys have tuned in. All sorts of things. Most of this podcast is going to be kind of interacting with our audience because we've got so much I think a lot of people have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
And so they were, doing some geeky stuff.
Giving us work to do.
Giving us work to do. And we got to be honest, we did not do all of the work that you gave us because we were on vacation.
But we got time. We got the full year to cover a lot of this stuff. We had some great topics that were suggested last year.
I am excited because I lived through a snow hurricane.
A snow-a-cane.
A snow-a-cane. I like that.
Somebody here is thinking like cocaine.
Yeah, back in the 80s, that had a whole different meaning. Now it actually refers to snow on the ground. It was 2 feet deep snow. I know you hate the snow.
Yes, I do. Yeah, all 2 feet of it. That sucks.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. The only thing is my wife, myself, and our twins were a little ill, so we didn't get to go out and really enjoy it. But, that was cool. Hey, as with every podcast, we want to talk a little bit about what we talked about our last podcast. Actually, last time we were recording podcasts, we did 2 because we did the 2010 year in review. You can actually find that on our Ustream page, which you can get to from our page. Go to e-webstyle.com/Ustream. It'll actually take you to one of our pages. And in fact, you can watch this now if you go to that page, and it'll take you to our Ustream page to show some of our archives. Also, it'll be up on iTunes soon. When we did the 2010 year in review, we actually did part 1 and part 2, 2 30-minute podcasts. Actually, I think there were 2 40-minute podcasts. And the tip from podcast number 80, I think I should just do 90 because I think probably I did 89 and 90. Bless you. And the tip from podcast number 90 was, I'd almost have you make a beat for this.
Oh, that's Chuck. We're gonna need a beat.
Places is the place to be. That's Google Places A through G. That's the tip for number 90.
That's what's up.
You guys forgot we did that, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, I completely forgot we did that.
You were hoping to erase it.
I was thinking that the last podcast was the Back to Basics.
I think that's like 3
podcasts before that.
Podcasts, yeah.
I forgot we did the year in review.
By the way, Back to Basics was a hit. We got 2 or 3 comments.
It really
on
was.
That. So.
It really was a hit. And thanks for everyone that sent us messages on Facebook about, hey, it was a great podcast.
A lot of them referred to the Back to Basics, and so that was pretty awesome. Maybe we should do Back to Basics.
We should do that maybe like
every week.
Okay, yeah, that works. Well, let's do it like every once a year or twice a year. Just kind of go back to basics because we do tend to veer off
and get on. Speaking of veering off, news.
Look over there. Look at that.
Things that are looked up. Facebook looks like it's probably going to be going public in 2012.
I kind of saw that. They're talking about full disclosure, and I see when people have to talk about financial disclosure, it's usually because they're going to start selling some stock or somewhere.
Yep. And I actually, over the holiday, my brother-in-law is a big kind of financial guy, and so we were watching lots of financial stuff. And it turns out you can actually buy Facebook on the off-market. There's lots of people who own stock on Facebook. If you saw the movie, there's at least 3.
Yeah.
And
so you can buy from them,
because the only way to monetize, if you say you own 50% of Facebook right now, you may have a high net worth, but how do you turn that into cold hard cash?
Yeah.
So you can disappear for a year. We were talking about that yesterday. The only way to do it is to sell that stock, and there's an off market where you can do that. Apparently they're going to go legit.
Okay.
I thought this was cool. P. Diddy rented an $850,000 a week super yacht controlled by an iPad.
Wow.
That's kind of cool.
That is, he bought or rented?
He rented.
Okay.
Yeah, because it says a week. I'm sure it was diamond encrusted.
Yeah, it better have been for $1 million a week. Shit.
Ooh, yeah. This is cool. Apparently at CES they previewed the tablet optimized Android OS Honeycomb. So it's optimized for it's the same OS.
Okay.
It's optimized for tablet, and I'm assuming it's actually optimized both for the current phone devices and the tablet.
Okay.
Which is pretty amazing because we have access to
the Galaxy.
The Galaxy and Samsung Galaxy, and it's banging.
I think it's cool. I'd like it to be bigger though. I'd like it to be the size of an iPad.
Yeah, that's the only drawback. But the OS is doing a really good
awesome.
job already.
Phenomenal
So if they have actually optimized it for the, did you know Google bought Android?
No.
Like I always thought, like
it was
they
their
just
own
created it like in house. Some dude,
but
some smart dude.
It makes sense because I know that Microsoft buys like everything.
Yeah, nothing
comes from Microsoft. They buy everything and slap their logo on it.
Yep.
So that I guess that makes sense, and they have the money to buy stuff like that.
One more thing we've got to put out there. We talk about regularly. If you're lucky and you become a customer, we will punch you in the face.
Yes.
And we're serious.
Yes.
We will punch you in the face.
Chuck, did you put that up?
Yeah. So we've got a video. Go to our Facebook page, and we will show
what we did to some clients.
What we do to clients, yeah. The smoking client was. I like the client dripped in water. That was just all the
little
water
paper
everywhere.
rings was cool.
That was because they were still shooting out as her face was on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, go to our Facebook page and check that out. It's a pretty cool link.
It is pretty awesome. You guys can follow us. Twitter.com/eWebstyle, Facebook.com/eWebstyle. We have a place to put reviews on our Facebook page. We love it when you go onto iTunes, create an account, and then put a review about us. If you want to find us on iTunes, you actually go into the iTunes Marketplace, type SEO, hit all SEO podcasts, and we're like number 5 there. We are the most popular SEO podcast, even though we're not first on the list. I don't know why.
Because we still try to record podcasts weekly.
The ones that are ahead of us have poor reviews or no longer submit podcasts.
Yeah.
And so we think that's a fair criteria for being the most popular podcast on iTunes, even though we're not the first. So go out there and do that. Is there anything else, any other way they should? YouTube, youtube.com/eWebstyle. And, we still have, in fact, we're getting a backlog. One of the comments today that we may or may not be reading is that somebody submitted a request for an analysis twice. So we have a little bit of a backlog right now. If you don't want to get at the end of a very long backlog, make sure you get your request in quickly.
Yes, and everyone that has submitted a request will get one. We just gotta get to them.
Yeah, and the holiday was
awesome.
It was Christmas. Awesome. Your holiday was good.
It was good. It was really good.
Banging. Cool. No $850,000 a week yacht.
Not this week, but there's still I still have a long. There's a
the
lot
week's
of
not
year.
done yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of year left for me to go ahead and get that.
Yeah. Start with the lotto. What do you got? You want to?
I got a kind of a listener question we can start with before we get into the main topic. I received a call yesterday from Andy Bauman at Bauman Photography, Bauman.
Man, he's persistent. That's good because he sent. I saw he sent a request.
Yes.
He sent a question, and then
I spoke to him yesterday. His website.
By the way,
yes,
you can call us.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, just like Andy Bauman did. Thank you, Andy, and you can call us at 713-592-6724.
You got it. And his website is Bauman Photography, BAUMAN-photography.com. He called in yesterday, says, hey, I listened to the podcast. Thanks for all the info. I have a question about Google Places and a little bit about URL.org, the universal, I don't remember. It was universal list, whatever. I think it was not URL.
That was the UL. Yeah, it's in our links.
It's
on
in one of our
Facebook
links.
page.
I can't remember the listing service. And basically what it kind of boiled down to is I said yes. He had asked about the listing service. Hey, do you guys, how do you do this? Do you, do you check? Do you fill this out and then go back and check all of them, make sure they're all accurate? Do you do your own search engine ones, or do you let them, the listing services, do all of them? And it basically boiled down to I said we do our own listings for the 3 major search engines, which all of you should do. Do those yourself. And if you do decide to sign up for a listing service that will list you on 150, 300, whatever directories, which is, I feel like, a great idea. It's a great price, like $30 a month. I gave two examples of them.
I thought it was a year.
Yeah, $30 a year.
$30 a year, yeah.
I gave two examples of them. You want to do your own listings for the major search engines, and then sign up for the listing service. And then you don't want to double check 250 different directories. Go to the ones that you know people search for. Go to Yelp, go to CitySearch, go to AOL. Go to the Yahoo directory and check that. Make sure that those are accurate.
I'd say Angie's List, but I don't think that they cover Angie's List.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Angie's List.
Yeah. So yeah. So you definitely want to do that. And he also asked about Google Places, and what would you recommend if you are looking to market in? He is in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, looking to market in Tulsa. Gave him a couple tips there, and if you are in a small city. Here's what I like to think. We have a lot of listings for eWeb Style. And I noticed that he had a couple different listings. And I said, if you want to market to Tulsa, Oklahoma, here's what you could do. We've told clients this before. You could get a P.O. box in that city and list your address there. You could just pick a random address. You could be stealing someone else's address if you did that. Or,
one of the challenges with that is, potentially, sometimes Google won't allow you to do a phone confirmation that it's you, and if they do, then they send a postcard, and if you're just using a bogus address.
And it goes to that address. So, however...
And you don't want a bogus address because it's your place's listing.
Yeah.
So people, we actually, it's kind of funny, even before we felt like we were getting any results from Google Places, we were actually getting people searching for how to get to us.
Yeah.
So I'm in a networking group. People were probably, Googling eWeb Style and then figuring out how to map to us. And so you don't want to map into so there's some drawbacks of that, but there's some value.
Yeah, and there's definitely some value. And he has two listings, one in his hometown and one in Tulsa. Gave him a couple tips. We went over tips for optimizing a Google Places listing. We did a whole podcast on that. You definitely want to take advantage of this. I can't kick this dead horse enough. The local pack or the map pack, whatever the 7 pack. 7 pack.
A through G.
A through G is where you want to be. That is what I believe is going to become, the one of, if not the most important part of the search engine results page. The first thing everybody sees. You want to make sure your listing is optimized. Have videos, photos, keywords in it, and we did a whole podcast on it. So go back. So Andy, thanks a lot for the questions. Great talk to you. Any other questions? Feel free to give us a call. And any listener question?
No, I just had this. It was Dean Calhoun put a link on our Facebook page about help save South by Southwest from marketer douchebaggery, and he made a great point. Maybe they listened to our podcast because one of our mantras is don't be. We are the friendly local top position snatchers, and one of our mantras is don't be a douche. And so apparently a lot of marketers are douches, and
they get their douchebag on.
Yeah, they get their douchebag on. Apparently they have been accused of douchebaggery, and so there's a talk. I don't even know what this is. South by Southwest, but they're talking about how marketers are taking over and it's becoming douchey, and hey, we should.
And to me that makes a lot of sense because as more the web is creating more and more opportunities to market. Banner ads wasn't even something I thought of 5 years ago, and now there are banner ads, and there's always, and now Google's now marketing to you with their marketing in the 7-pack. They have sponsored listings, so the search engines and then ad companies are finding new ways to market to you. So I think that as these new ways to market increase, there's going to be more and more.
And they're kind of technical, and so you can kind of see how maybe marketers who really don't have that much tech savvy are kind of migrating to these kind of South by Southwest. I think that's what the major complaint is that there's a lot of marketers who don't. For instance, we have a marketing partner who until recently was telling her customers that SEO was voodoo and you really didn't want to mess with it. And she was just saying that because she didn't really know how to handle her clients when they were saying, hey, I think I might be interested in SEO. Now that she's partnered with us, of course, she's like, oh, SEO is wonderful, and it gets you on the first page of Google, and it brings clients, and we know how to optimize it so that those clients who come, they can actually convert into leads and customers, and so her whole song has changed. But before her really partnering with us, you wouldn't really want her at a South by Southwest conference on search engine optimization.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I have something that we're going to get into today is mobile marketing, and this is a special thank you to Dean Calhoun, who is our production manager today, who pretty much supplied all of the content for today's podcast.
And Dean's with
Affagility Solutions. He is their CEO, podcast man, traveler. So this guy dude's all over the place. We're friends on Facebook, and I'm like, you're in Denver one day, Miami the next day. This guy is just everywhere.
Skiing
and podcasting.
And skiing.
Yeah, this cat's all over the place. So he had asked some questions last year on our discussion board about mobile marketing and how do you feel about mobile and everything is going mobile. Did a little research, and we're going to cover more on this, but I just kind of want to touch base with it today.
I'm not going to rub it in. But
yeah.
This device right here, this is the
HTC Evo he's looking at.
HTC Evo is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
In fact, my niece, while we were on holiday, she was like, how many skyscrapers are in New York? And I just pressed the button and I'm like, how many skyscrapers in New York City? Because we were heading into Manhattan. Voice searched it. Took me a little while to kind of find the right link. It was a Wikipedia link, of course. Like 460 buildings over 500 feet. Is there anything else you need to know? So later, her dad comes to me. He's like, she's really impressed by your device. She was asking me, I wonder if Chris's phone would know this. I wonder if Chris's phone would know that.
It knows everything.
Imagine how our kids are, they're going to grow up with like, okay, I need information.
Yeah.
I have it at the touch of my fingers.
And that's cool though. I definitely want one. I had like 5 friends buy an Evo and show me
and taunt you
over the holiday break, and I was like, okay, thanks, bye.
It's good. You're holding out. You're holding out for that.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for it to become available to me on my Sprint account. But everyone knows mobile search is increasing. Smartphones, hell, everybody I know has a smartphone. I don't know anyone with a flip phone anymore.
By the way, if we have any listeners who would like to donate an Evo to Paul,
the address is on the website.
Address is on the website.
There you go. So he had asked, hey, let's talk a little bit more about mobile and how it's going to take effect. And I found he sent me a great article that I do want to talk about QR codes, and also just want to talk about mobile and where it's going. And I found this article on Search Engine Land by Bryson Meunier. I'm not even going to attempt to go there with Bryson, but he posted
Meunier.
Yeah,
Meunier.
It was actually just posted yesterday about he said here's two mobile SEO tips for 2011. But here's how he starts his talk. He talks about how every year since 2005, people have kind of thrown out there, this is the year of mobile. And I think I probably said that at the end of last year. Mobile's going to become big this year. And this is kind of what before he gets into the meat of his article.
Hey,
what's up, Rob? Thanks, Rob. He talks about how every year is the year of mobile. And every year they talk about mobile's going to take off this year. And even though that mobile searching is growing, I think 4 times what PC searching is, it's still not a major player.
Right.
I think that what he listed is currently mobile search accounts for 10% of Google search volume or more. Now that is a pretty significant number, but 10% as compared to 100% is. I'm still not changing my strategy. My marketing strategy.
I'm preparing for it, which is kind of great timing for Dean Calhoun's question.
Yes, of course. So what he says is people have been saying this over and over, and kind of here's a couple things that I found that he was saying that the mobile experience is it will taper off. Well, this was not in his article. It was in his article. He didn't say it. The guy who said it was Rand Fishkin, who I don't know who Rand Fishkin is. But he says that mobile is really going to have a negligible effect on SEO in 2011, and slowly, with more smartphones like the Evo, the way you search, they're going to merge the web, the PC web, and the mobile web, so they're kind of one and the same. But Bryson gave us some great topics or some great things on what you should do. He basically said, you don't want to ignore mobile keywords. The Google Keyword Selector tool does give you mobile keywords in that search. You don't want to ignore those, because if you do, you are ignoring, and I have this highlighted, you're ignoring 10% of Google's total search volume. Some recent data from Performix, the current growth rate is expected to see mobile queries account for 16% of total clicks by September of 2011. That's in 9 months. So that's That's from 10% to 16% in 9 months. I don't know if I believe that, but I mean that's a huge
Well,
number.
I got to be honest, I do because
Okay.
Android's now outselling iPhone. iPhone used to be in terms of mobile searches the largest search or searching device.
Okay.
That was just because it was so user friendly, and now Android is outselling the iPhone.
Okay.
So it's not one particular. It's not like the Evo. But it's Android in general, and Android in general is significantly better than a lot of other smartphones at doing search. Not only
Okay.
that, you've got 4G on Sprint, you've got 4G on
Verizon.
Verizon. So now your internet speeds are actually an office used to run on the internet speeds that you can now get on your phone.
On your cell phone,
Like an
okay.
entire office, like 20 people would run on a T1, which is a 1.5 Mbps connection.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, video wasn't draining as much bandwidth at the time, but now you've got more than that on a 4G phone. So people are just you're gonna use it more and more and more.
Okay, and that makes sense. And here's another topic that Bryson, a piece of data, he said, I'm going to quote this. He says, however, mobile searches, feature phone and smartphone, had a click-through rate of 29.9% overall. When you look at brand loyal searches, their most relevant category, the click-through ratio for mobile searches was as high as 52%, compared to 9% brand loyalty for desktop searchers in the same category. So, and then it also says that overall desktop search click-through ratio was 6.58% for brand loyal. Basically, click-through ratios on mobile devices are much, much higher than desktop. And I was
Right.
like, wow, that's huge. That's a huge piece of data. Now, to also remember that clicks are much lower, but the click-through ratio is higher. So to me, this says, yes, mobile is it is the future. It's not even the future. It is now. It is today. It is something that needs to be taken a good look at. However, just because of the sheer volume is so low, we're not changing our strategy just yet. But like Chris said, it is something that we are going to prepare for. Going to talk more about. What is that?
You need to be aware of it. You need to be on top of it. I think that's Rob's phone.
I was like,
I'm trying to get him
your
to close
pocket-
his door.
Your pocket is talking to me. So I thought that was awesome. So a couple good tips. You do have you don't want to ignore your mobile keywords, okay? The keyword selector tool does give you mobile words. You want to be able to use it. You want to, and then this is when analysis comes into. You really need to be able to, have an analyst on your team or at your company, or your SEO company needs to be able to do that kind of analysis for you, so they can look at the terms and say, okay, well this is good for PC search, this is good for mobile search, and also another great tip is that present mobile users with mobile formatted content. Everybody's been somewhere on a mobile device and went to a website where you had to scroll and do this. So basically, you're saying have your site built in a mobile format for a mobile phone, which I think is pretty much obvious. And the Google SEO starter guide talks about that a little bit. I also want to get into QR codes. Dean sent now QR codes, for those who don't know what a QR code is. And I have a picture, yeah.
What is a QR code?
I have no idea. It's a barcode. A QR code is a barcode. Here, and if you're looking, I can show you a picture of this. It's this little thing right here.
Oh, that's good. You did good on the video there. Well done.
That was
Wow.
awesome. It's a QR code is like a barcode. It's a two-dimensional barcode that looks like a bunch of dots and squares. I'd say about an inch by. Well, they come in all different sizes.
Yeah.
And basically, what you need is a program on a QR reader. QR code reader on your phone, and you can take barcode scanner. Thanks, Chuck. On your phone, you take a picture of it.
I think Google Goggles also would work.
There you go. Google Goggles would be
Which is free.
Just took that
I'm
off
sure.
my phone actually because I never
Really?
used it.
I tried to use it. I forget what for.
Didn't work?
That wasn't.
Yeah,
good or
basically,
something.
it's a black and white dot pattern, and it gives you information about something. So if you're one of the people that Google Places sent out the little we are at Google Places thing, like a little card you can stick in your window. It had adhesive on it, and it says we are listed on Google Places. Had a QR code. If you scanned it on your phone, it would send
Take you to the Google Places listing.
your Google Places listing, and you see them everywhere. And Dean sent me a great article how the South by Southwest conference last year was using them everywhere. They were in your badge. they were in people's
That's
business
a great
cards.
idea in the badge, because then you can just snap a photo of that.
A guy walked around with a T-shirt with a QR code on it.
Oh,
And
wow.
it linked to his website or Twitter feed or something like
Super
that.
nerd.
Yeah.
Here I come to save the day.
to save the code. And so it basically, the article, it was a great article. It talked about how QR codes are everywhere. You aim your smartphone at it, you take a picture of it, and it gives you all kinds of information. They're putting these codes on flyers. I've seen them in magazine ads. I see them in Website Magazine.
You want to know what's crazy? At least 8 years ago, Popular Science was trying out something along these lines, where they would put that in their magazine, and then you would actually have to show it to your web cam.
Okay.
And then it would take you to the website. And I was like, this is not, it didn't go anywhere,
Yeah.
because it wasn't
It's too much
convenient
work.
enough.
It's too much work.
I don't know if I'm going to use it. Like, if I'm at a store, I don't really want to see their Google Places ad, because I probably saw their Google Places ad in the research of getting to their store.
True. But
It's-
now they're starting to link them to your website, your Twitter feed, your
So
Facebook.
at a conference, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But on your front door, I'm not convinced, right? If I'm going to the Gap, I don't really want to see the Gap Places ad, or even if
Okay.
it's a boutique store. I went there.
Because
I'm
I
now-
know what's there. I'm there.
And maybe there are other people out there who are, just like to shop and walk around. And we've got a place in Houston called West U, where you can walk around, have a coffee, and maybe you're, traipsing by a store and you're like, oh, a QR code of an interesting store. Let me pull up their Google Places ad and find out about them. This is not going to happen with me.
True. Or how about this? I'm walking past the store. Oh, there's a chiropractor. I need to go to or a massage therapist. Let me scan their QR code, save it.
Yeah.
When I get home,
That's-
I'll go back to it.
Yeah.
I read an article about how they put them on artwork. You go to art museums, you get art, you get
Now to
information
get
about
detail,
the artists.
that's cool.
And,
so the kind of conference museum environment makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Hey, I'd like more information about this. If Google goggles can't recognize the Mona Lisa, at least it can recognize the QRC code.
Yeah, the QR code.
QR code that's right there next to it, and then pull up more information about it.
One thing, this article was written by Mark Sullivan. It says the title is South by Southwest Notes, QR codes are everywhere. It says that QR codes are just a simple bridge from the internet to the outer net. A concept seems to be on many people's minds. They allow you to get internet content about something that you are close to or looking at in the real world. I saw a TED. TED is something that Chris actually introduced me to. A TED,
Cool shit.
yeah, just super cool. A TED article, a video about this guy was saying the future of the internet is going to become how to get basically link the internet and the outer net. So how you can merge your real world experience with and I think I may have sent this to you, where this guy had this real
camera,
he had a
and
camera
a projector,
and a projector, and he was watching that he could project the internet basically on a wall in front of him and move and click things. It was nuts. He had like a projector and a camera on a baseball cap, I think.
Well, he could project onto his hand a dial pad,
Yes.
and then dial from his
From his hand.
which is kind of
And I think that basically what his talk was about is bringing the internet to your real world. And to me, this is
Matrix, yeah.
This is exactly what it is. The QR codes, is the way to bring the internet to your real world into the internet right here with you. And since we don't have the internet everywhere we go, mobile devices are the closest thing that we have. So I thought that was a great article. I want to get more into learning more about mobile search and how it's going to affect. And let me find this exact line that I read in here. And here's what it is. It says, perhaps that Rand Fishkin was just making a bold prediction for the sake of generating controversy or for links, but he basically said that the mobile and normal web browsing experiences will continue to merge toward a single experience, thus negating much need for the mobile-specific sites and SEO. That's where this is again coming Rand Fishkin. This is the article that was written by the other guy, Bryson Muner. He was quoting Rand and saying that they're going to merge the experience. So mobile doesn't need to be a big part of SEO, or doesn't need to be a big part of your plan. I don't know how I see his point. but I still think that mobile.
There's always going to be a delta. There's always going to be a difference between those two things. So, yeah, I think there's always going to be that difference.
Yeah, I still think it's a good strategy. I think you still should take mobile into your strategy. If you have the opportunity to do QR codes to link to your website, Facebook, I'd still recommend that everyone do it, or at least look into it, because mobile is here. I wouldn't even say the future. It's now. It is what's happening now. I search more on my cell phone than anywhere.
Yeah, me too. Hey, I think now is the perfect time to bring out another view on mobile and the direction that things are going. Let's bring out the top position snatcher,
Mr. Mobile.
Mr. Mobile.
Mr. Mobile.
Mr. Mobile. SEO. Charles Lewis coming out here, Charles.
Chuck, I say Chuck's Mr. Mobile because when I first met Chuck was on this thing called Twitter. Right?
Chuck has the name Chuck
yes,
on Twitter.
And I was like, Twitter? What's that? And
Why would anyone do that?
We did our first podcast. He was just tweeting. I was like, man, what is that? So he was on his phone just going hard on his Twitter. So, Mr. Mobile, tell me about mobile. How do you feel about mobile search? How do you feel about this, guys?
First, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to all y'all watching. Can I get some quick shout outs real quick?
Yes.
I'm gonna answer your question. Shout out to Rig76. I'm trying to get your name. He didn't post his name, so in my mind I picture you as Riggs from the Whipper.
A little crazy, a little off balance.
Shout out to my boy Sal. Sal, what's up, man? Sal is watching, man. Y'all need to check out his video blog. Dude is crazy.
Okay.
YouTube.com/Mayhem Jedi. Like,
what?
Yeah.
Mayhem Jedi?
Yeah.
Whoa, isn't that the dark side?
No, Sal's real cool cat, man. And shout out to Tierney. Got your questions. I'm gonna try to answer those briefly before we close. He's watching as well.
Cool.
All right.
Mobile. Okay, do you feel like this quote? Do you feel that the PC and the mobile web experience are going to merge, or do you still feel like they are going to be separate? Should someone incorporate it into their strategy? How?
Well, I think both.
Okay.
I think right now you have to incorporate it into your strategy to take advantage of that 10% you were speaking about.
Okay.
But with the growing of tablets and pads, right, which are just technically mobile, right? Operating on 4G, like you said earlier, there's really no need for a mobile version per se.
Yeah,
like on your phone, on the HTC Evo, does it display mobile sites or does it display?
On my Android phone, it pulls up our site just like we have it on the web.
If there is a site that has mobile, right, so it has a mobile version,
it'll display that version.
It will migrate. Yeah. I don't like it because the screen is big enough on the Evo, and I think even on a lot of other phones.
On the Galaxy.
Certainly on the tablets, yeah. That you don't really need to be taken to the mobile device, the mobile version of the website. That's probably kind of a leftover. So in that sense, yeah, I think he's right. You're not going to need to create two versions. You need to design mindful, right? Yeah. So there are things that you may do on a big screen that you really might want to pull out of your web design so that it really works well on both. But so far, like our website, we did not design our website for mobile. It looks great on the Android. And so, and on everything except for an Apple product. Boom.
An Apple product. You should try, I looked at the site, iPhoneTester.com.
Yeah, we had to use that.
Yeah, kind of put in your URL and it'll show you how your site looks on an iPhone.
Although we don't have much flash on ours right now, right?
Well, no, just the
those blocks. Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Well, it sucks for Apple because, can't see my flash.
Yeah. So we spent all this time Android. On it. Yeah. Android, which we're outselling Apple. So I mean the iPhone.
So I think the general consensus is you still you don't want to miss out on that 10%. Do you want to change your business strategy to go after mobile first? No, but mobile is growing, and it is something that you do need to take into consideration for the future. If you have the opportunity to build a mobile site or do a QR code, relatively inexpensively, quickly, yes, you should definitely do it. What's up, Javier? And what else? You got a couple questions?
Yeah, I got questions. Tierney, man, I feel like I'm killing your name. If I am, I apologize. We posted a couple questions via our contact form, and so I want to kind of address those quick and I figured we can blank stare news
Oh, yeah.
letter.
We got a letter from Google.
I figured
open
you'd
it
be the
on
perfect
air.
person to open it. But,
Darn it.
But see, we thought about that. And we said we use Google Apps. We promote AdWords.
Mm-hmm.
This should be a check.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
It should be a check. It shouldn't be.
Good thing they didn't hand deliver because it would have been a fight.
Let's see.
You don't subscribe to the don't persecute the messenger.
Yeah, oh no. Take this back to Google.
Punch you in the face. First question. How does a high bounce rate hurt your site as far as Google rankings? Be honest, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by this question, but I do know that a high bounce rate won't necessarily hurt if the reason they're bouncing off is due to a conversion, right?
Okay.
They got to your site, they filled out a form, and they left. Your bounce rate
could be
probably
high.
go high, but that's a good deal.
Yeah.
For you,
Right?
yeah.
So I wouldn't really focus too much on how the bounce rate affects your rankings. Instead, focus on why they're bouncing.
Yeah.
If they're bouncing because they converted, great. If they're bouncing with no conversions, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
I do think that it would. I think that if you have a high bounce rate, there's a possibility that someone else with a lower bounce rate could jump ahead of you.
It might be one of the 200 factors.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
Possibly.
I don't think that if
It's
you have a
not-
high bounce rate, are you going to drop?
No.
You know, if your bounce rate
I
just
don't think so.
shot up all of a sudden, you're going to drop and you're there?
And
Probably
and depending on how I don't even know exactly how Google defines the bounce rate. Is it 5 seconds on page?
I think it's 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds.
I've heard 3 to 6. I've heard 30. I've heard 15.
Certainly like a 3-second bounce rate.
Okay.
If maybe what they display in analytics is one thing and what they actually record and utilize is different. So
Which I know they do.
That sucks, right?
Yeah, because with PageRank, I know they display one thing to you,
And
and
it's
they have
actually
a
something
real
else.
PageRank that no one knows about except for Google. So that very well could be the case.
So they may be saying, look, if it's a 3-second bounce rate, it's a useless page.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a 30-second bounce rate, hey, potentially they got everything they needed from that 30 seconds. There's 465 buildings over 500 feet in New York City. Boom, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take me 30 seconds to do that. It's a bounce, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
not a 3-second. It's a 30-second.
Yeah, I'm going to co-sign with Chuck and say, figure out on why they're bouncing should probably be the very first thing that I would focus on.
Yeah.
Why are they bouncing, and then lower it. And if you figure out why they're bouncing and fix it, that'll lower your
Adjust
bounce rate.
accordingly.
Yeah, it'll lower your bounce rate, but you'll get more conversions because
Value
they're
out
not
of it.
bouncing,
Yeah.
which is the ultimate goal.
So here, the second question I had was also regarding your last podcast. You talked about inbound links.
That was our Back to Basics podcast, right?
Mhm.
That's cool.
Can you guys give some tips on how to get good inbound links? Do you suggest emailing other site owners to ask for their links? Tried that. It's been rough. What about programs like SEO Power Suite, Internet Business Promoter? Do you suggest sending out links using programs like that? SEO Power Suite, I'm really not into programs that kind of do everything for you, right? I'm more of a control freak. I prefer to do it myself. At least that way I know what's done.
And there's a reason that we go after organic SEO organically.
Exactly. So I not to talk down on those programs. I just prefer to get in there and do it myself.
And it's rough.
It's very
I think
rough.
there's 3 key techniques. There's the begging, the borrowing, and the pleading to get inbound links. Really,
Great content. I mean,
Yes.
let's talk about back to the basics.
article baiting.
Yeah, link
Great
baiting.
content. If you put something out there that people want and that they deem valuable, then they'll link to it. So do that, right? Have a great product. If your product sucks, then nobody's gonna link to it.
Yeah.
Focus on what we say regularly. If you're providing a great experience to the Google user, then you're going to do well because those great articles, those great things are actually going to draw in more links, and eventually it's going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's organic, and it's going to succeed better and hold longer, stronger, faster, nimbler,
Yes.
quicker.
One cheat that I would, not even a cheat that we talked about earlier in the podcast, to kind of get links would be to use the what is the thing? UBL.org.
Yeah.
That's a way to kind of cheat the system a little bit. It was UBL and something else.
UBL, that goes into that whole category of directory submissions.
Yes, that's a directory submission.
Submit to some directories. Watch which ones you do use, but that's a great way to get some good links.
Great way for link juice. Dean Calhoun actually sent us, and I haven't actually gone through it. He sent us an email on getting a link from a PR8. I need to go back and read it, but I will share that.
It's TED's. When you have a profile on TED.com, there are follow links. You're allowed to have 3 of them, and you can control the anchor text.
Really? Okay, Ted. He said.
That's a free game right there.
There you go. That's from Dean Calhoun.
That's PR8
at Affagility Solutions. That's a PR8 site. You get a TED profile, link it back, control your own anchor text. Bang. You can't ask for anything. I mean, wow, a PR8.
Yeah. All right, Ted. Well, I hope I helped you. I hope that helped. If not,
hit us
check
back.
one of our other podcasts. I'm pretty sure we've done one on link building.
Yeah. Out of our 91 podcast.
Yeah.
We may have mentioned it once or twice.
Yeah. Well, we had some great articles. I'm going to go back to these article titles. And thanks again from Dean Calhoun. South by Southwest notes, QR codes are everywhere, written by Mark Sullivan. That was directly from Dean. And 2 new mobile SEO tips for 2011 by Bryce Muner.
Y'all should have your own street.
Yeah. Oh.
This is going to open
Android Ave.
Yeah. It's Amphitheater Parkway instead of like Google Plex.
Yeah, instead of 123 Google Drive.
So we open this our blank stare news.
At the Google Dome.
You got any takers on what this is? I bet it's a letter to Paul that says, stop hating on Google Play.
Oh, we will find you.
We have returned your links. We found your links and returned them.
Okay. It was, you are kicked out of Google Places. Don't ever come back.
Try
Google Apps. We use Google Apps.
Yeah, we're using Google Apps. Did we get this because we just signed up?
No, we've been, let's see. You ain't give me no AdWords credit?
What's up with that?
Yeah, no, that's...
Okay, Google. Yeah.
Y'all are whack.
We need something a little more personal, like,
handwritten note from somebody.
Yeah,
that says,
Cuts.
Awesome.
Matt Cuts, hey, hit us up. Say.
We can promote y'all's products like we work there. Seriously.
Yeah, we were expecting a check. All we get is try Google Apps free for 30
We're already
days.
using it. Yeah.
By the way, did you know there's a free version of Google Apps? We are trying it. We're using it for free. Of course, they don't mention that.
No, of course not.
Try Google Apps free, but it's always free.
It's always, up to 50 users. It's a good product, by the way. And eventually we will outgrow that small product and be using Google Apps because it's a reasonably priced and very well done. Oh, I forgot to turn off my fancy Evo. All right, so this is the end of podcast number 91. We appreciate you guys for listening, you guys for watching. Again, you can find and watch this podcast. We were quite late today, kind of catching up from the new year. Usually it's about 9:15 Central Standard Time on Friday mornings. This has been the first podcast of the new year. We'll be doing this every week. Go ahead and tune in. It looks like we're getting some more kind of interaction. In the first 20 minutes of the podcast. So if you want a question immediately answered live on the podcast, you've got to tune in at 9:15ish Central Standard Time and get a question in early so that we can get it into the queue. Into the queue. Yeah. I was going to get it to the personalities. Get it to the top position snatchers so it can be answered on air. Thank you guys for listening. My name is Chris Burris.
Paul Hansen.
Charles Lewis.
Bye-bye for now.